Hi, I'm going to provide a little video to offer some guidance in completing the application for issuance of a certificate of registration as a law corporation. This is Attorney Andy Gale, and this is the form that's currently being used by the California State Bar as of April 2023. The bar is kind of fussy on how this form is filled out, so it's always important to go through it carefully and make sure you got all of the sections completed entirely. So one of the areas that's really easy to mess up is just getting the name of the law corporation all the way through the documents. I'll highlight a couple of other areas that I've left blank to show you where those things can be overlooked. The other thing that the bar is particular about is checking all of these boxes. Why they do that, I'm not quite sure, but I have had experience where they've kicked a few back where we've just checked a few of the boxes, but not all. So the idea is obviously check the boxes and then turn over to the State Bar when you submit the application all of these documents that they're referencing in this particular section. So this is page 1. And page 2, here's an area where it's very easy, again, to forget where you would put the name of the corporation. So make sure that you complete that. When it gets down to listing of the shareholders, it is possible to have shareholders that are licensed in California and licensed in other states as well. Many times people who are licensed out of state will actually put their own out-of-state license number here, but if you'll note, the header on the section does say California bar number, and so you will leave that information blank if there is no California bar number. When it gets to completing the officer section, typically if it's a multi-shareholder corporation, there's actually going to be a position for a vice president. But this particular form only allows for the 3 main officers, president, treasurer, and secretary. So there's no need to actually add on an attachment and suggest or indicate who is going to be acting as the vice president. Again, it's important not to put in a bar number that is not a California state bar number here. So as we've indicated in this example, you do want to leave that area blank. And the same will be true for the following page. Again, being careful only to put a California bar number in this particular section. Now, an area that frequently gets overlooked is one that pertains to attorney employees. There must always be one that is fine if in fact there is only one attorney and if in fact that attorney is only licensed out of state. The State Bar still wants to have at least one attorney listed here. Obviously, the rules are that unless you're a California licensed attorney, you cannot practice law in the state of California, but that doesn't stop you from completing this part of the application. So in this example, we've listed 2 attorney employees, Fred and Joe, and so we've listed their information here, which will then be used in the calculation for the law corporation guarantee, which we will get to in another section. If any of the other sections, for example, Section 5 applies to you or Section 6 applies to you, do make sure that you get those sections completed with all of the appropriate information. Here is the last page of the first section of the application, and you'll notice that we have listed only 2 attorneys here as practicing law on behalf of the corporation. And this number is again going to be utilized in another part of the application. All right, so that was completing attachment A. Now we have attachment B. This is really pretty simple. Just a few items. Again, it's critical not to forget to put the name of the corporation here. And of course, we've got to sign this page here. Once we've done that, we're basically done with attachment B. This is attachment C1 or the standard law corporation guarantee. Again, don't forget to put the name of the corporation here. And another area that gets goofed up is doing the calculations to figure out what these numbers are. If you'll notice, there is a link here that you can click on. It'll actually take you to a guarantee worksheet. The guarantee worksheet will actually help you do the computation and will take you to a page here, which is exactly how the math is done. In this particular case, what we've got to do is multiply the number of lawyers by $50,000 to fill in the per claim section. So that'd be 2 times 50,000. And that's how we arrive at this number here. And then the second part of it is multiplying the number of attorneys by $100,000 here, which will get us the per calendar year computation, which then allows us to complete this section here. Now, what I recommend that most clients do is just ignore this effective date part of the agreement, and all we need to do is focus on the date executed section here. Once we've completed attachment C-1 or C1, we've basically completed the application process. And then it's just really critical to actually go through this list of documents and make certain that before you submit the payment that you've actually attached all of the documents that's required by the bar. If you don't attach all the documents, and importantly for the state bar, the money that you need to pay them, they will actually kick it back. They'll send you a letter stating that you were didn't do a good job in completing the application. They'll put the application on hold, and they will wait for you to correspond back with them to indicate what the problem was. Either you were unable to provide the information requested, in which case they won't process the application, or allow you the opportunity to make whatever changes are required so that you can resubmit the application and get it processed. Finally, don't forget to sign the application here. Here. And here. I hope this overview of the application helped. If you have any questions, of course, feel free to reach out to our office.